The Appalachian Mountains are the oldest mountains on Earth. They have seen civilizations rise and fall, but something inside them has stayed the same. There is a reason why the locals are so quiet, and why the woods feel like they are watching you. If you plan on stepping into these forests, you must know the forbidden rules. These are not legends. They are survival instructions. Because in these mountains, if you lose your way, you don't just get lost. You get replaced. Never whistle back. If you hear a beautiful melody coming from the deep brush, stay silent. In these woods, a whistle is a predatory call. If you whistle back, you are giving them your location. The melody will sound human. Familiar. Like a song your grandmother used to hum. But it's not her. It's something that learned her voice before she died. Something that waited decades to use it. The whistle will move closer with each note. If you respond, you've given permission. Permission to be found. Permission to be taken. The old-timers say that every person who whistled back was found 3 days later, standing at the edge of the forest. Alive. But wrong. Their eyes look past you. Their smiles stretch too wide. And when they speak, it's in a voice that isn't quite their own. They stopped being themselves the moment they whistled back. If you see a door standing alone in the woods, do not open it. You might find a perfectly clean house door attached to nothing. Frame. Knob. Welcome mat. Everything perfect. Everything wrong. It is a trap. Opening it invites something into our world that has been locked away for centuries. The door appears when the mountain wants something. Sometimes it's old. Victorian. Sometimes it's modern. White paint. Brass handle. It doesn't matter. The door is always spotless. Never weathered. Never rotting. That's how you know it doesn't belong. Local legend says these doors are passages. Not to another place, but to another time. A time before humans walked these mountains. Before rules existed. Before things learned to hide. If you turn the knob, the door will open to darkness. Complete. Absolute. And something will step through. Into our world. Into our time. The door will disappear. But what came through stays. Hunting. Spreading. Multiplying. There are 7 documented cases of people opening these doors. All 7 towns were abandoned within 6 months. No explanations. No bodies. Just empty homes and roads leading nowhere. Ignore the smell of rotting meat. If the air suddenly turns sour, do not investigate. The things that live here use the scent of death to lure curious humans. Your first instinct will be to find the source. To help if it's an injured animal. To report if it's something worse. Don't. The smell isn't coming from something dead. It's coming from something alive. Something that learned that humans investigate death. That we're drawn to tragedy. That we can't help ourselves. If you follow the smell, you will find the source. A clearing. A cave. A hollow tree. And in that space, something will be waiting. Not hiding. Waiting. Because it knew you would come. The smell is bait. You are the prey. And once you're close enough to see it, it's already too late to run. The smell will fade. The forest will go silent. And you'll realize the rotting scent wasn't coming from in front of you. It was coming from behind you. The whole time. Never look up into the trees. We are trained to look at the ground. To watch for roots and rocks and snakes. But the real danger hangs above. There are creatures that blend with the moss and branches. Limbs that twist like wood. Skin that mimics bark. Eyes that look like knots in the trunk. If you make eye contact, they will drop. Fast. Silent. Final. Keep your eyes on the path. The forest canopy in Appalachia is thick. dark even in daytime. The locals walk with their heads down, not out of respect, but out of survival. They know what lives in the branches, what waits in the shadows above. These creatures don't hunt like animals. They don't chase. They position. They wait above trails, above campsites, above anywhere humans stop to rest. And they wait for eye contact. Because eye contact is acknowledgement. And acknowledgement is permission. When they drop, you won't hear them coming. You won't have time to scream. You'll just be gone. Pulled up into the canopy. Into the darkness. Where dozens of others are stored. Waiting. Hanging. Preserved in the cold mountain air. Some have been there for decades. Still fresh. Still whole. Still waiting for someone to look up and see them. If the woods go silent, you are being hunted. The forest is never quiet. Birds call. Insects buzz. Leaves rustle. Wind whispers. There is always sound. Always movement. Always life. Unless something is wrong. If the birds and insects suddenly stop, it means a predator is near. A predator so dangerous that every living thing goes still. Hoping not to be noticed. Hoping to survive. Do not run. Running triggers their instinct to kill. Movement means prey. Stillness means you might not be seen. Walk slowly. Deliberately. Keep your breathing quiet. And do not look back. Never look back. Because if you do, you'll see what made the forest go silent. You'll see why the animals are hiding. You'll see something that shouldn't exist. Something that breaks the rules of nature. Something old. The silence will last as long as you're being watched. It could be minutes. It could be hours. But eventually, the forest will come back to life. The birds will sing again. The insects will buzz. And you'll know you survived. This time. But the next silence might be different. The next silence might be your last. Don't follow the flickering lights. You may see a campfire or a lantern in the distance. Warm. Inviting. Safe. These are not humans. They are lights designed to lead you off the trail and over a cliff. The lights appear when you're tired. When you're lost. When you're desperate for help. They flicker like a real fire. Move like a swinging lantern. Even cast shadows that look human. But if you get close, you'll notice something wrong. The light doesn't produce heat. The shadows move independently. And the fire burns without wood. Without smoke. Without sound. These lights lead in one direction. Away from safety. Away from trails. Toward drop-offs. Toward ravines. Toward places where bodies are never found. Dozens have followed the lights. Thinking they found rescue. Thinking they found shelter. They walked toward hope and found only darkness. A 40-foot drop. Rocks below. And in the morning, another person added to the mountain's count. The lights appear most often in fog. In rain. When visibility is low and hope is desperate. That's when they're most effective. That's when people are most vulnerable. That's when the mountain feeds. If you find your own belongings on the trail, leave them. If you find your own hat, watch, or a photo of yourself lying on a rock, the mountain has already marked you. It has taken a piece of your identity. Piece by piece. Item by item. Leave it behind and run for the exit. This is the final warning. The last chance. Your belongings appearing where they shouldn't means you've been chosen. Selected. Claimed. The mountain takes things slowly. First, small items you might not notice. A hair tie. A button. A receipt from your pocket. Then bigger things. Your jacket. Your phone. Your keys. Each item appears on your path. Clean. Undamaged. Deliberately placed. It's a message. I have been through your things. I have touched what you own. I know who you are. If you pick up these items, if you reclaim what was taken, you're accepting the exchange. You're agreeing to the mountain's terms. But the terms aren't fair. Because what the mountain takes next isn't an object. It's you. Your face. Your voice. Your memories. Everything that makes you you. And what walks out of the forest wearing your skin won't be you anymore. It will be something else. Something that learned your mannerisms. Your speech patterns. Your laugh. It will go to your home. It will see your family. And they won't know the difference. Not at first. Not until it's too late. The mimic. I learned these rules the hard way. My name is Caleb, and I spent a week in a remote cabin near Blackwood Ridge. I'm a writer. I came here for silence. For inspiration. For isolation. I got all three. But I got something else too. On my third night, I heard my mother's voice calling me from the porch. Caleb, honey, I'm cold. Please let me in. My mother has been dead for 3 years. I buried her myself. I spoke at her funeral. I watched them lower her casket into the ground. But that was her voice. Exactly her voice. The tone. The cadence. The way she said my name with that slight rising inflection. I looked through the curtain and saw a tall, pale figure with limbs like broken branches. It stood on the porch. Motionless. Its body wrong. Too tall. Too thin. Arms too long. Legs bent at angles that shouldn't be possible. But the voice was perfect. My mother's voice. Begging. Pleading. Caleb, it's so cold out here. Why won't you help your mother? The figure's mouth didn't move. The voice came from somewhere inside it. Like a recording. Like something memorized. The creature stayed on the porch for 6 hours. Calling. Crying. Using my mother's voice to break me down. To make me doubt. To make me open the door. I didn't answer. I stayed in the corner of the room with my eyes closed, hands over my ears, praying for sunrise. When dawn finally came, the voice stopped. I waited another hour before I looked outside. The porch was empty. But there were marks. Deep gouges in the wooden planks. Like something had been pacing. Wearing grooves into the floor. I packed in 10 minutes. Left everything I couldn't carry. I needed to get off that mountain. Needed to get home. Needed to be around people. Real people. When I got to my truck, I found 4 deep gouges in the metal of the driver's door. Not from an animal. From fingers. Long, thin. Unnaturally strong. The marks went through the paint. Through the metal. Almost through to the other side. Like whatever made The Appalachians are hungry. They don't just want your life. They want your voice, your face, and your soul. The mountain collects. It learns. It mimics. And it never forgets. So if you ever hear your name being called from the shadows tonight, stay silent. Don't answer. Don't look. Don't investigate. Because the moment you respond is the moment you belong to the mountain. The moment you become part of its collection. The moment you stop being you. Subscribe if you want to survive the night. And remember, don't look behind you. Because if you do, you might see yourself standing there. Smiling. Waiting. Ready to take your place.